Welcome back to Athena's Listening Crew, where we celebrate women entrepreneurs who said, "Watch me," and then went and did it. I'm Lena.
And I'm Renee.
Our guest today is Andrea Bacchi, founder of Dynamic Digital, a digital marketing consultancy based out of Shaftesbury, Vermont. Andrea has spent nearly 2 decades in marketing, and for the past 7 years, she has been running her own company, helping brands, nonprofits, and everyday entrepreneurs figure out how to actually be found, trusted, and remembered online. But Andrea's story is not just a marketing story. It started with her mom's cookies, literally. Vermont Moonlight Cookies, her mother's specialty cookie company, was where Andrea got her first taste of building a brand from the ground up back in 2007. That early apprenticeship turned into a career and eventually into Think Dynamic Digital.
Along the way, Andrea's path took some hard turns. In 2017, she experienced acoustic trauma that left her with hyperacusis, a hearing injury that causes pain from everyday sound. That injury reshaped how she worked, where she worked, and ultimately what she built her business around. Today, she is just not a marketing consultant. She is a hearing health advocate, chair of Vermont State Rehabilitation Council, and a fierce voice for accessibility and disability inclusion in the digital space. Andrea brings warmth, humor, and hard-won wisdom to this one. And yes, she
She did
did
that.
that.
Well, hi, Andrea.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. So excited to have you on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So, as our first question, we're going to start with you, where you're from and what was it growing up? What was growing up like for you? And we asked this because, your very first taste of marketing was helping out with your mom's business and Vermont Moonlight Cookies back in 2007. So, did you know then that you found something you loved? So, if you can give us a little bit of a backstory on this.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a great question. So I live in Shaftesbury, Vermont, which is in Bennington County, which is the most south county. It touches New York and Massachusetts. It's in the southwestern part of the state. It's a beautiful area. I grew up there, moved to different areas like Boston. I moved to Burlington, Vermont, upstate New York. And then in 2017, I suffered acoustic trauma, which is a loud noise in my left ear. And it caused something called hyperacusis, which is pain from noise.
Mm.
So pain from noise, meaning like I grew up as in fourth grade, I started playing the violin and then quickly switched to the trumpet. So I've been a trumpet player my whole life. That's not how I got the acoustic trauma. But I've been a musician my whole life. My brothers, older brothers who are also in tech, they started out as trumpet and saxophone player as well. So we're very musically inclined. So that hearing disability, the hyperacusis, when I was living in Burlington when that happened, Burlington, Vermont, and my audiologist told me, listen, you can't work in an office right now. Like the noises that are happening are going to continue to injure your ear.
Yeah.
And she said, you need to work from home. And I said, okay. And so at that point, I had gotten my music degree in college. I had gotten my business administration and marketing degree as well.
Mhm.
And so I just wasn't sure what to do because I was trying to heal. And she told me, Dr. Julie Beer from Better Living Audiology in Burlington, she said, you need to integrate music therapy into your healing. And the funny part about that, like very ironic part, was that when I first went to college for music, I was studying to be a music therapist, right? So it like totally came full circle.
Very nice.
Um, but like, so I moved home. I moved back to Shaftesbury in 2018, and I'm still here now. I really have integrated into the community. I was able to heal about 70% with the hyperacusis, which is amazing. And now I'm actually a hearing
Wow.
health advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sit on the State Rehabilitation Council as chair, which partners with Higher Ability Vermont, which is the vocational rehabilitation in the state. Every state has one. And what it does is it helps people in their state who have disabilities find work or like find employment or start their own businesses. And so I, had fallen in love with social media and email marketing because of my mom's specialty cookie company from another, I have chronic health issues, and there was a time in the past that I was home and couldn't work at that time. This is back in like 2007 ish,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Oh, you have this specialty cookie company," and she was an editor for this awesome company called Abenaki Publishers, which was in Bennington, Vermont, but they published 5 fly fishing magazines, and she was the editor and or the assistant editor, and she was doing a wonderful job. But they were taking the company and moving it to Georgia, and she's like, "Well, I live in Vermont." Like she's a Brooklyn girl. Like she grew up in Brooklyn. My dad grew up in Queens, New York. They moved up into Vermont in the 70s, and to live off the land. And they were like, "We're not moving to Georgia." So my mom was like, "Oh my God, I'm not going to have a job." So she said, "Okay, well, I've been baking cookies since I was 12 years old. I'm going to start a specialty cookie company." So she did. It's amazing. Her product has been like the snack of the day on Rachel Ray and all this other cool stuff. She's won
Wow.
a lot of awards. Um, so I just like learned how to market the company. And then like Facebook was the first thing I started with, and I just fell in love with it. And it also helped me kind of heal in a way. It helped me concentrate on something. And we
Mhm.
we call that like cognitive behavioral therapy, where if we concentrate on something, we can kind of actually help ourselves get through whatever it is.
Right.
So I mean, long story short, because it is a long story, and I'm Italian, so I'm used to talking with my hands, and there's like lots that happens. But it really just kind of morphed together, and I started my company because I was like, wait a second, I love what she does. And then the Vermont Small Business Development Center helped her start her business. They helped me start my business. Then they asked me to be their marketing consultant, which I still am like 7 years later. And
Hmm.
I just was like, wait, I got to do this. I love this. If I can help grow her brand, and her brand has like just taken off, I want to help other brands too. And that's what I did. And so I've been in business almost 7 years now with Think Dynamic Digital. So that's the story. I don't know if I completely went off in a completely different way and didn't answer your question. So if I didn't, let me know and I'll come back to center.
No,
But
you.
that is just talk about your mother and a pivot. Like I work with so many people that they come up and like you just like they come up to a barrier or something happens. I'm like, it's time to pivot. Where are you going to pivot? And that
Yeah.
was a big pivot going
Yeah.
from one thing to something completely different and just rolling with it. That was awesome.
Literally, and you're pun just now with rolling with it because she rolls out dough every day. That was like amazing. I don't know if you just meant that or what, but like a wordplay. It's her being like, a former editor. And it's so funny because I have two older brothers, and Matt and Mark, and they're so cool. They're really smart. They're in tech as well. My dad was in tech too. He worked at he started out as an electrician, actually. He had his own business as an electrician. Talk about pivoting. He fell off a scaffold in like the 90s and like really got hurt. He decided to go back to college for computer science and then got his degree and ended up working at his dream job at RPI, which is Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. And he also pivoted. So he's totally entrepreneurial spirit, right?
Hmm.
And it's like everybody in this family has something cool going on. Like I feel so fortunate I'm the youngest, I'm the baby, and
Me
I'm the
too.
only girl. Oh, you
Me
too. So
too.
you understand this, like what this flavor looks like, this
Yes.
dynamic.
Hmm.
Um, but it's like, my mom jokes, we all joke. She's totally into wordplay and like because words, right? And editing. And so of course, I'm like getting the Catholic guilt if I like find my own typo somewhere, I'm like, "Oh my God." My mom says she's like, "I passed the disease on," but it's a good disease to have, is to like, we're not perfect and we don't need to be perfect, but we just want to make sure we're presenting ourselves in a good way as much as we
Humor
possibly.
seems to run in your family too,
Yeah.
so it's great.
Totally, totally. My parents
And
are hysterical. My brothers are hysterical.
And
Yeah.
Catholic guilt is no joke. Like, I haven't been to
Oh,
church and I can't tell
oh,
you how long, but it just
right.
sticks with you. Like,
Yep.
Really? I had an
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
opposite. I went from non-denominational to Catholic because they drank real wine and they seem to just go to confession and get it off their system and then they go to the bar across the street. I don't know. I had a little bit different experience.
Yeah. No, it's no that I mean
Felt
that makes sense
completely.
too. I get it. I get it. I hear you.
Maybe it's just where
Yo,
you're at, but yeah.
it might be, but also, I mean, it's true. I mean, like, yeah, you definitely have your own experience
Yeah.
in
Hmm.
it. And I tried a UU church at one point. That did not work for me at all. In fact, I tried three different UU churches, and I got bullied out of one of them. So I just think
That's
that
not
I'm
very, they say
no, it wasn't a good
Christ-like. Okay.
experience. Exactly. So back to Catholic, we're staying there. We're staying there.
And I've actually heard that before. Like some churches, like their churches are supposed to be all welcoming, and some of
Oh,
them are
that's so.
not.
No, they're not. And I appreciate you saying that. If you go online and you Google this, I actually found a Substack from a former UU, what do they call them? Not priests. They call them, I forget what they call them, but they're saying that this is like a big thing. Is that a lot of UU churches, like they say they're welcoming and they say they're like all are welcome, blah, blah, blah. But unless you're in the clique and if you speak up, you're not welcome. And that's what happened to me. That's what happened. My
Uh,
fiance and I
mm,
got kind of,
oh,
he stuck up for me because he was part of the church before I came along. And you know, it was really sad. He kind of felt not comfortable there anymore. And
Hmm.
yeah, they but this is like a thing that happens, and I'm like, that's not good. Like, we should all be helping each other. We should be like, collaborating and like, how can we help you solve this challenge? That's what it's supposed to be about. Random and and I'm like the queen of being awkward. So if you're ready for an awkward conversation, let's make it
it's
happen.
not awkward. I think it should be discussed more. Let's put it on the table. Like,
So, quick side note, talk about pivoting in different directions. I
Yeah,
was just talking to Lena earlier about this today because I have not been going out or spending time with friends as much. And I actually went on like my first somewhat date in like a year and a half
nice.
yesterday. And I was like,
Awesome.
I need to do it because I'm finding myself feeling awkward around people.
Yeah,
Like that you said
totally.
that. I'm like, I'm right there with you because all
Yeah.
I do is work and then home, work, dog, work, home. Like it's,
Yes. I feel that so much. And like, but also have you met people? Have you seen some people are awkward. So maybe it's not you. Maybe you're just picking up the energy of like, but I get what you're saying. I mean, I
Mhm.
feel like I'm always working and like, my mom and I joke all the time. Like I was really excited that I don't know what oh, I really this is a Vermont thing. I don't know if this happens in your state at all too. But going to the local dump and the landfill is like so exciting because you meet your neighbors. Is that a thing where you are?
wait,
No?
wait, tell me. Okay, now you have to share a story. How does
No.
this work? Because I don't
How does
even
this
know
work?
where sorry, I don't even know where our landfill is anyway. But
No, it's okay. A lot of people in this community do get their trash and their recycling and their compost picked up, and that's a service. Like they pay for it, right?
Mhm.
We are like, and ever since like I've been a kid, my parents have not paid for that service. So, and because my parents are older now, they're 78 and 80, I'm like, hey, I'll do this. I'm learning how to even drive the Cub Cadet beast of a lawnmower around our property, and like here's me, this little like like Catholic girl, like Italian, like I mean I'm rugged, I'm kind of rugged, but then I also like to put on a dress and heels, right?
Yeah.
I'm out there like learning how to use the snow blower, like I learned that last year. This year it's the lawnmower, this weekend it's the weed whacker. But going to the dump is cool because you like get to bring all your stuff and you get to, clean your house out and do that thing. But everybody goes to the dump and you meet there and you chat. You have conversations. It's like a
it's a
podcast at the
gathering
dump.
place.
Yes,
Okay. The
it's a
club
gathering.
dump. All right.
It's the club dump, but it's like and I'm like, I made this joke. I guess upstate New York totally gets it too, because it's like a lot of farm, a lot of like,
Yeah.
rural.
Okay.
And when I say upstate New York, I'm talking Albany, New York, and
Yeah.
Saratoga. I'm not talking like Westchester County upstate, like because
Yeah.
downstate New Yorkers are like upstate, like that's part of Canada, but it's really actually Albany. Um, But no, you go to the dump. In fact, when I was younger, and my parents had like, when my parents moved up here in the 70s. So when I was younger, if you were campaigning, running for office, you would go and actually go to the dump to get petition signatures. In fact, the gentleman that I'm helping campaign right now, running for re-election for probate judge in Bennington County, Vermont, Lon McClintock. He's a wonderful human being, and he's a friend too. I saw him at the dump like 2 months ago getting signatures, and I gladly signed it. So this is where you go, and people used to dress up in like tie and suit and go to the dump to like campaign. Like this is a thing.
That's
It's
where
so
people
fun.
are at.
Yep. So if you ever want to
Interesting.
like chill out and like hang out with people and like meet people of Shaftesbury, I mean, I will go sometimes and I'll be there like an hour and a half and I'll come home and my parents will be like, "Oh, did you meet someone there?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I met this person and this person." And and you sometimes end up doing business at the dump. Like you meet people and they're like, "Oh, I need to talk to you about blah blah blah," or volunteer efforts or whatever it is. So yeah, come on over to
Interesting.
Vermont. We're here to
It's
chat
like the
at the landing
funnest
club.
dump I've ever heard of.
You
Okay.
got to come visit. We would love to have you visit. It's really there's a lot going on here, and I really hope that I think the majority of people are welcoming here. What I love, I think Vermont is actually like the little melting pot of New England. When I say that, a lot of New Yorkers move here, a lot of people from all different, especially when COVID happened, right? People
Hmm.
were like, "Oh my God, where can we go that's safe?" Like people bought actually places sight unseen. Like they just purchased houses
Hmm.
off of like Zillow in
Hmm.
Vermont to just come here and live. Some people came here and then they realized the winters were rough and they left. But we really love community here. We
Hmm.
really want to make people feel welcome. And when you come here, we even have a program. I forget what it's called, but so that when you move here, you can integrate, you can meet people, we can help you like with all the questions you have. And because we want to make this a really welcoming place to be.
And you mentioned COVID, and that just um, reminded me of because when you came into the digital marketing arena, you came in pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
So can you tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that? Because, and then how you experienced when COVID hit, when everybody was trying to scramble, what is this
Mhm.
online and Zoom and this and that? But you've been doing it for quite some time.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So it's so funny. I've been in the marketing industry for like 20 years, right? But I started my company January 20th of 2020 or 27th of 2020. So like right before COVID hit the United States. I think it hit in March or something.
It
Yeah.
was March. That's
Um,
when,
Yeah.
yep.
yeah,
When
so
things
like
shut
people
down. Yep.
People, right. And so for 2 years before that, 3 years before that, I had hyperacusis and I still have it, but I know how to manage it now. I know how to manage. It's amazing. I'm actually
Mhm.
writing a book about it because there's a lot of people that suffer from hyperacusis and then also tinnitus, which is ringing in the ear,
Which
but
I
the
have. Yeah.
treatment, you have that. Okay, right. I think we talked about that. The treatment for tinnitus or tinnitus, you can pronounce it either way, is the same treatment that is treated for hyperacusis, which is what is it? Listening to classical or jazz with high fidelity headset for 2 to 4 hours a day. It can't have lyrics, and it has to be less than 80 beats per minute. And what that does is actually lowers your heart rate, helps reduce the anxiety, and you're retraining your brain and your limbic system. So your audio and your limbic system, because though it is a hearing issue, it's a hearing injury. It's your brain that is like not accepting the sounds and noises correctly because you have had this acoustic trauma. So you have to retrain it, and that's what I was able to do. So I had hyperacusis before COVID. So for
Hmm.
2 years, I was also like, and I'm a social butterfly, if you can't tell. I'm a social butterfly and love being around people, love public speaking. In fact, that was one of my favorite classes in college. Just, I love getting in front of like hundreds or thousands of people and speaking to them and like speaking, like us working together, right? It's not me
Yeah.
speaking at them. It's like, how can we make this interactive. I love doing those things. So for me to have that hyperacusis and being isolated was like,
Mm.
excuse me, I had its own level of PTSD in there because
Right.
honestly, well, from the acoustic trauma that occurred, and I will be completely honest, and I just want to put this out there because I want people to not feel alone. I want to make myself vulnerable for a moment.
Hmm.
I received the acoustic trauma from an abusive ex-fiance who screamed in my left ear, right? So I didn't
Mm.
know that could even happen. I thought you could just get deafness or you could become deaf or have hard of hearing, but you can also get hyperacusis, which is pain from noise. And so
Wow.
that's what happened. And so that's why I have the PTSD is because of the person who caused the injury.
Yeah.
Um, Not with that person anymore, have a new fiance. It's a whole different, better situation. Um, so I think it's really important for people to know that one, if you're in that kind of situation, there is help for you. You don't have to go through that alone. And two, if you have any kind of disability or hearing injury or anything like that, you also don't have to go through that alone. There are resources and there's help. Um, but the pre-COVID piece, so I knew how to navigate the isolation, and I thought, okay, well, I need to like find a remote job. That's what I was looking for. Remote job. I'm going to work for a remote job. But as a Vermonter, and I love Vermont and I love the agencies here, the Vermont Department of Labor, Hireability, all these wonderful organizations, but not a lot of companies before COVID had remote roles. Like they did, and it's been around for a while because both my brothers work in remote and like people just have for years, but it just wasn't as widely accepted, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So finding remote work was like really difficult. And I remember even like local companies, Hireability, which is vocational rehabilitation, sent my resume to like some of these like organizations and said, here's Andrea, this is her background, and they were like, oh my god, she has an amazing background, but we're not looking for a remote role. We don't this isn't a remote role. And I thought to myself, this is digital marketing. There's nothing that I would be doing that I would need to be in the office. Like how like disconnected are we that I just don't think people realize, like leadership realized, like my clients are all over the world right now, I mean, like that, you don't have to, a good marketer can learn your brand so well by the questions they ask you and the conversations they have with you that
Yeah.
they become like a branch of your business and can market you, right? So that's where I think it lies. You don't have to be in office. And even the statistics show that people that work remote actually are more productive because they have this like work-life balance and they can
Hmm.
make it work, and the company respects them and knows that they hired somebody who's responsible and takes accountability and can make it happen. But I couldn't find a remote job. I mean, I had remote work when I lived in Boston. I worked for TripAdvisor, so that was like a hybrid situation. And there was some other remote work that I had in the past. But when I was doing that thing with the searching when I had the hearing issue, like right off the bat, it just wasn't really working. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start my own company. And that took off. Like that was like the thing. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm doing my business and I'm helping brands, but I'm also like, wait a second. I need to build a course to teach people how to find remote work because I've worked remotely. I've been a recruiter. I know how to do the thing, like the whole process, how to build a resume, how to make sure it works with
Hmm.
the ATS system, how to, what should you wear to the interview? How do you answer the question? What's your greatest weakness, right? Like those
Yeah.
questions, we're all faced with those. So I'm actually building the course. I told Hireability Vermont that I was building the course. Somebody that it works at the organization a few years ago, I told, and she was like, "Oh my God, tell me when you're launching this." So on LinkedIn like 4 weeks ago, I said, "Listen, I'm working on this course. It's going to be a self-led thing. It's like, for purchase. I'm going to make it a very affordable rate because people are looking for jobs. They don't have a lot of money. Like we want to get this information out there to them." And so, because I've already mentored a ton of people in hireability and in other ways, for remote work and in work in general. And so she actually invited me to a couple of team meetings for me to present the course, like to present like what I'm going to launch it soon, and they're really excited because it's going to help fellow participants in hireability and
Yeah.
just anybody. So yeah.
Interesting. And to take it back, one of the light was shown because of COVID on the whole working from home thing
Yeah,
is yes, there's so much data working 4 days a week, 32 hours, people get more done. There's all this data, but it comes down to taxes. And
it does.
COVID really shone the light on that. Like, for instance, San Francisco, because of COVID, a lot of the business in San Francisco gets tax deductions because their employees
Mhm.
live in San Francisco because it's so expensive. And
Right.
COVID, they went out and these companies were losing all those tax benefits. And so they were
Yep.
wanting people to come back in. And so, yes,
Yeah.
we have shown because of COVID, there's a lot we can do. Like I'm a therapist, and so there's a lot we can do at home.
Hmm.
But then the
Hmm.
insurance companies and the companies are like, wait a second, we don't get these tax benefits. And then what about
Right.
this? And yeah.
Totally. I'm so glad you said that. I totally agree because when I was looking for remote work in Vermont, I remember there was a lot of companies that Vermont, they wouldn't hire employees from Vermont. So I was like, wait a second, this is, and there's a name for it.
Hmm.
And when I was in Burlington, I was like really heavily into the tech. I mean, I still am, but I was even like part of nonprofits and these groups. And like even on Meetup, there were cool like tech things that aren't always down here. So I probably should start one because Southern Vermont's cool, but one thing it's really lacking is like a lot of tech talk and a lot of tech um like atmospheres and like to be honest I think everywhere there's like a skill gap. I mean I'm still learning, we're all learning, but
Hmm.
it's like how do we make sure we're setting up the workforce for the skills they need to be able to find the jobs they need to keep them in the state? Because what we're having a problem with, and me, I don't know if you're having this problem where you all are as well, is people are it can be really tough to live in the state, and no place is really affordable, but people are leaving, right? And the young population is leaving, and we want to attract people. So it's like, how do we do that? Okay, well, we need to set people up and make sure they're equipped for not just what's going on in the state, but what's going on in the workforce, and how can we um, help them put food on their table. But then also, if they are like able to be here with whatever it is, remote or not remote, um, those tax like challenges, how do we solve that? Because there's more discussion there, and because if companies aren't hiring Vermont workers, then we need to somehow figure that out so there's a balance, right? We need people to, I mean, I've talked to just on my Facebook profile, like I've reached out and said to my friends, like, or like the Bennington Bulletin, there's a Facebook group, or the Manchester Community Forum. I'm like an admin of that one, and there's like 17,000 people in that one. I've asked the question, what are you struggling with? And people are like, I want to find either a second job or a job, but I want to be able to be with my kids, and I want to be able to do this. I want remote work. And or I'm like, well, do you want remote work to work for a company? Or do you want to be a contractor, an independent contractor, and work remotely for yourself? Those are different things. And I don't think people realize like what is what, but the tax issue is a big issue. So I think there's got to be more discussion to try to solve that so that there is help for companies, but there's also help for the worker. Because if
Hmm.
everybody leaves, okay, like a big percentage of Vermonters are elderly. Who's going
Yeah.
to be here to like run the town, help the people, do the things? Um, I'm a big volunteer. I was volunteering for the town of Shasbury for a long time, for 8 years, until they tried to take my intellectual property, but we won't get into that. So I had to resign. But like I love volunteering and people want to volunteer, but well, I guess this kind of fits in there. If there's red tape and there's challenges and the communities aren't working and allowing the people to come in and help, then they're going to crumble. Right? We can only accomplish things if we're working together. And that's really
Yeah.
the meat and potatoes of it, really.
Hmm.
So you did have a question about digital marketing. You wanted me to say like, did you want me to like answer something specific about that before COVID in terms of like how that kind of worked?
Um, yeah, just kind of like what you saw, what were your challenges at that point, and how did you figure it out, I guess, and and I know it's because I remember we had when we had our conversation, our one-on-one, you It's like when you would, because you've been already working in that field, like you said, like remote work. What? No one was talking really about remote work until COVID happened. And then
Right.
you saw COVID happen and you were seeing like all this chaos. And
Yeah.
here you've become pretty much a subject matter expert at that point.
Well, thank you. I kind of feel like, yeah, I mean, I definitely, I've been in the ditches, and
Mm.
honestly, that's how now I am in business to solve problems for other people, right? And so my parents, my brothers, my friends, my, surroundings have said to me, oh, people will randomly reach out because they're like, oh, Andrea will have the answer, because like, yeah, I mean, it's been a challenge. What I noticed I mean, everything's been a challenge. I think when you have chronic health issues, which I have, and disabilities, you have to become your own advocate and you have to do all the research, right? But when I do all the research, then I want to pass on the research I've learned so that I can help other people. And that's kind of what I turned the business into. But the digital marketing, what I noticed is brands were kind of online before this, but they then realized with COVID, they had to be online. They had to, because if they weren't, like we had the 6 foot distancing rule, right? You couldn't, in fact, in this state, there was this campaign, this is hysterical, that to stay 6 feet away, like you had to think about how far it was between you and the cow, because Vermont is all cows. It's like, it's like this is social distancing. Like, how many cows away are you? I'm like, oh my God, that is such a Vermont thing. Like, that's hysterical. But yeah, so brands had to be online. And so what was happening, people were scrambling because they're like, oh my God, like I have a brick and mortar or I have this and I'm not online. But when they were doing the things to bring them online and get more visibility online, they saw their businesses actually grow. And it was really amazing to see people go, oh my God, it's working. And I mean, it takes time. Or like people had come to me, and I love LinkedIn. It's huge. I mean, everybody should be on LinkedIn, whether you're seeking a job or not. If you're a brand, that's a place to be to grow your network and learn from other people. It's fabulous. Even if you're volunteering, it's a fabulous
Mhm.
platform. But I remember somebody coming to me and being like, I hate LinkedIn. And I said, that's okay. And here I am trying to be like positive and chipper. And this person is like basically like I think they were looking at me with like eyes. They wanted to turn me to stone because they were like, Andrea's just too chipper. Um, but I taught them how to use LinkedIn. Now they love LinkedIn. They've seen their business grow, and I keep watching them. Like that was like 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. Their business is doing so well, not just because of LinkedIn, but because they have a great product and service. But to see someone transform and be like, I don't know what I'm doing with digital marketing. I don't know what's happening. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I hate social media. I mean, so many people have come to me and said, I hate social media. And I say, you know what? I don't blame you. I get it. And it's a scary place because you're like,
I'd be
what
one
is
of the
this
I'm one of
thing?
those people. Yeah. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna admit it right here.
And and good for you. Good for you. Because you know what? It's the first thing is to admit that you don't like something or that it doesn't work for you. And it's not my job to like convince you in a way that doesn't feel good. Like my job is to give you the information and the data and show you what it can do and then let you decide if you want to use it. And the people that have like dived in, even like doing it like I think it's important to do things in micro bits so that when
Yeah.
you do it and then you are like, oh my God, and you like it builds your confidence. And even if it didn't come out the way you wanted it to, you tried it and you helped create another wrinkle in your brain, right? Your brain wants to like keep going
Right.
if it's seeing rewards.
You're pointing out something doing in micro bits because I think it's more like when you say I hate social media, it's we see all the things that it can do and the reach it has. I think it's just intimidating. Well,
Mhm.
I'll only speak for myself, but it's intimidating and you don't know where to start. And the information
Yeah.
flow can be overwhelming.
Oh,
And how
yes.
much control do we have? Because every time you feel like you filtered something, you check in and they've removed that filter, or you have to do 5 more steps to get that same filter that you used to only do with one click. But now and then the algorithms as it gets smarter and knows how.
Mhm.
So how do we, it's like trying to catch up with something that's growing at a very quick rate.
Mhm.
And I think education, like what like to you, like I would be drawn to you and be like, can you show me like how I use this
Yeah.
to my benefit? Because I know it's a necessary thing if you want to, especially if you're an
Mhm.
entrepreneur and growing your business.
Absolutely. And you know what? To be honest, I agree with everything you just said, especially the part that it's overwhelming. It changes every day. Social media changes so often. Like Instagram, there's always like changes that are coming out because they're trying to, what each platform is trying to do is to get the followers over there, right? So TikTok, when it came out, oh my God. And what an amazing platform. Like, yes, it started out as people doing dances and people still do dances, which is really cool. But I will tell you this. So I went to college for music. So I have a music associates, and then I went to college for business and marketing, right? They didn't really, that was back in like 2008. Okay. Digital marketing was a thing, but it wasn't like as big as it is now, right? So
Mhm.
I got out and I was like, I had like the marketing degree and the concepts and all that jazz. Which, I'm so happy I went. I'm so happy I also have the music because the music and the marketing really go hand. It's
Mm.
creativity, it's science. Music is science and creativity, and I think both are. But when I came out, I was like, learning all this other stuff. And then TikTok rolled around, and I thought, oh my God, there's so much information here to learn. I learned so much about entrepreneurship, um, just digital marketing in general from all the platforms. Facebook, I was following someone named Rachel Peterson, who I'm actually being mentored right now. I'm in a group. She's amazing. Mari Smith is another social media person. Amazing. They're really cool. I think if you are on the platforms, and yes, you say there's a lot of information coming at me, but if you can kind of, the cool thing is because of the algorithm, you get to train the algorithm what you want to see. So, people, I think this is the other thing. People sometimes don't understand social media and how it works, and they think, oh, it's all bad. Well, yeah, I mean, the internet, it's like a hammer. You could use it to build a house.
Mhm.
It's a tool. You could use it to build a house, or you could use the hammer as a weapon. The social media is the same thing.
Mhm.
You can use it as a tool to build knowledge and train your algorithm that you only want to see this thing and put all the good stuff in it. Like my algorithm is manifestation and energy work, marketing, specialty food, um, being positive. Like that's my algorithm. I love my algorithm. And if something funky comes in there, I'm like, oh, we're going to downvote that so that doesn't come through again. Because, we want to keep, I'm a big believer in, what we put out is what comes back to us. So if we are training the algorithm and then also like, you know, working on ourselves and working on self-growth and working on our digital marketing and our brands, I really feel, and we're a good person, right? Work hard, be kind, and make it happen is kind of like my motto. Um, I think it the universe, and some people are going to hear this and go, she's wacko. But no, the universe lines it up for you. It really helps you. It's like the brand awareness, the energy that's around us, and the people, help us grow our brands. Because everybody's got a really cool product or service out there. It's just that if people don't know about it, they can't buy it.
Right.
They want to support your business. They want to, but if they don't know. And you're talking about education, and it's funny because I just started two school communities. I'm still working on them. Are you both familiar with School, SKOOL?
I
Do you know that
heard of
platform?
it, but I'm not
Heard of
Sounds
it?
familiar.
super familiar with it.
Oh, you got to check it out. If the two of you like to learn, which I sounds like you do, this platform is super cool. Here's the difference. Social media is awesome. School is a platform, like social media is cool. I love Facebook. I love Instagram. I love LinkedIn, TikTok. Um, X has its good and bad, just like every platform, just like the internet. But school is a platform where anybody, you both could go and start your own community, whether it's free or paid. You can teach people whatever it is you want to teach, and you can um, make MRR, which is monthly returning revenue. Um, and so I just started. I think. Well, I have to build them out. They're live, but they're not built out yet. Is the Dynamic Growth Collective, which is small businesses and brands. It's an education space. It's like I teach you those things. Like we learn from each other. It's
Mm.
what I've noticed is small businesses, and I've worked with like over 600 at this point in time. People are overwhelmed, overworked, feeling alone, afraid to take the next step, afraid to record. They're afraid to like put themselves out there. A lot of them don't realize you can have faceless marketing. You don't have to put your face in your marketing for it to work. People think it has to be this one way. It doesn't. And you don't have to be on every platform, right? People are like, oh, I have to be on every platform. That's going to give me the most visibility. Actually, that's not true. What you need to do is understand who your target audience is. Who's your target audience, right? Are you selling to the person who is buying specialty cookies? Or are you selling to the person who just really wants an Oreo, which I also still like Oreos. I do. Are you buying the Oreos at the gas station? Those are two completely different. Now there might be a Venn diagram, right, where you have two circles and there's the middle where they're connected and they share that
Mhm.
space. That's me, the Oreo lover who still likes the Oreos, who knows what it's made out of, and also the specialty cookie company who loves that too, right? Um, so it's finding out who your target audience is and then doing like a deep dive, the demographics, the psychographics, their behaviors. Are they heavy smartphone users? Or are they more like on the desktop? Are they even using the internet? Or are they not? What does that look like? Because as funny as that sounds, but there are ways to take people from the physical world, like at farmers markets or from the store, into the digital world so that you can keep building the relationship with them. Because marketing is about building relationships and trust. And
Mhm.
then it's not just what gets me and drives me insane is when I'm on LinkedIn and I get these like private messages, these DMs, direct messages that are like, hey, you can tell it's a robot because my middle initial is E. This is so funny. This is a tip if you're interested. If you put your middle initial um, in your name on LinkedIn. So mine's Andrea E. Bacchi. Looks like I was called broccoli in middle school, but whatever. If you put your middle initial, when you get a message from somebody, you can tell if it's a real human. If it's a human, they're not going to use your middle initial. But if it's a bot, a robot, it's going to say, "Hi, Andrea E, comma." Like I can tell immediately.
Oh.
I can tell immediately. And like I use an E because I'm named after my father, who's Andrew Bacchi, right? And so like all the time, like I'm getting his mail, they mess up this, they mess up that. Like the IRS
I've got
messed us up
stories.
so many times, right? You get it. It's like crazy, crazy. But that's why I use my E. But then when I put it on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh wait, this helps. So anybody out there, if you want to like see if you're, being emailed by a robot or whatever, but the thing, and there's nothing wrong with bots if it's like AI. I'm a big supporter of AI, but when it's used mindfully, it shouldn't be used like the hammer to hurt someone. Um, I get these messages that are just like aggressive and just like trying to buy or trying to sell, right? Right. And this is like people in sales. They're just like at you. They're like at you. It's like when you walk into the car dealership, you
Mhm.
walk in, it's not even a hello. It's just like, want to buy a car? Want to buy a car? What, blah, 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 and I'm like, no, buddy. In fact, I've literally said to people, listen, I'm all about relationships. If you build a relationship with me, I'm more apt to potential like to buy your product. But if you're
Mhm.
going straight for the jugular and you want like or the wallet, like we're done. I don't
Yeah.
even want to continue this conversation. And so like of course I've had some men get really upset with that and they get upset because women, have a voice now these days. They're not used to it. Um, but marketing, that's a different story. That's building relationships, helping people engage with you and your content and like showing them how you can help them solve their challenges, but in a way that's not, I'm sorry to say it, but salesy. Like Brian Tracy, are you both familiar with Brian Tracy, the author and motivational speaker?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay, this guy is so cool. I don't know how old he is now. Maybe in his 70s or 80s. I have no idea. Wonderful, amazing human being. He has a book called The Psychology of Selling. And it really just changes. He talks about this, that it should be a natural conversation. It should be not feel salesy. People that are in sales that make it feel salesy and aggressive are doing it wrong. They really are. We want it to be warm. And honestly, if you're like talking about your craft or something that you're doing, um, in my opinion, marketing is more like a conversation.
Yeah.
It shouldn't feel, if you feel that I'm ever selling to you, I'm doing it wrong. I'm absolutely doing it wrong. And because I don't want to do that. I really just want to have conversations. If people want to do business with me, that's totally their call. And I would love to chat with them, but I'm not going to be, you know, that car sales place because I don't like how it feels for me. And I don't think other people like that feeling either. So
So
that's kind of where I'm.
So with my one of the questions I had with like social media, you brought it up like when first Facebook came out, you loved it, which I think most of us did when it first came out. But I have my love hate with it is so
Mhm.
it's the point that I have put effort into it and I get the cost benefit of it is negative. Like I created a group, I post something, less than 1% of my people would see it. Like I put all this effort into these posts and then all of a sudden no, not any everyone who's following me is not seeing it. And so then I just give up because I get frustrated and I'm like burning out with social media. So then I have LinkedIn, but then I'm like, I don't know what to do with LinkedIn. I'm not intimidated. I don't know about it. Like, and so when you brought up LinkedIn, I was like, oh, want to know more about what do you do with LinkedIn that will help.
Yeah. So those are like very common situations and questions I get a lot. And I will say this. I can understand why you're frustrated with Facebook to begin with and would want to learn more about LinkedIn. I would learn more about both, to be honest. But here's the thing. With any platform or any situation in life, we need a plan. Like we need a plan. Like when I talk to business owners, I'm like, and if they come to me, in fact, last week I had somebody come to me who was like, I want to market my book. I want you to like, because I do an audit, like, and I do a deep dive audit. I look at like social platforms, but I also look at like email signatures. People don't realize that your email signature is super duper helpful to drive awareness to your brand or whatever. Like, because it could have your website, it could have your socials, it could have a picture of you. Like, it also needs to be solid and be professional because, like, if we're just signing our name and like I don't know where that person is from, like in terms of how that's working. So when I think about plans and I think about like, oh, this isn't working for me, or I posted on something, and it's not working. And I'll just go back to that guy that came to me. He's like, I want to sell my book, and he's a really nice gentleman. I love him a lot, but he wants to just get into the marketing. And I was like, well, wait a second. Who's your target audience? He's like, I don't know, just anybody. I'm like, no, that's not a target audience. Like, that's like everyone, and we can't market to everybody. So, like, do you have a business plan? And he's like, no, I don't want to have a business plan. I'm like, okay, I'm going to say this kindly. You can't have a marketing plan unless you have a business plan, right? So you won't know who you're marketing to or where you're getting the funding dollars or what it all looks like. If you don't know your product, they're not going to know your product and they're going to not have confidence to buy your product. So the thing is my thought is in order to like make sure we're posting the right way in that moment for whatever's going on that platform and because each platform needs a strategic approach to how we're posting that different than the next platform, meaning Facebook has its own way of posting content that's different than Instagram doesn't, you can't put links in the copy. You have to reference the link in the bio. On Facebook, you can put a link either in the copy or in the first comment. You have to be careful with the first comment though, because now if you tell people to look like the whatever is below, like Facebook is like, wait a second, like it wants people to engage. So when you say only 1% people saw my post, well, there's a few reasons for that. It could be the way you set up, and I'm not coming at you specifically, just in
No,
general.
got it.
It's the way people set up the post. Is there a graphic or is there a third party link? Because a lot of times third party links they're taking people off the platform to another website, and Facebook doesn't like that. They want people to
Mm.
stay on the platform. That's why a lot of people now put those third party links in the first comment, right? Um, there's, is there a call to action? Did you ask questions? Like it has to be set up a certain way for it to actually make it through what we call the content filter. Then the other thing too is if you just started the group and it's brand new, the algorithm doesn't even really know that that group exists, even though you created it. You have to really get some things going first in order to get more visibility. So if you didn't get a lot of visibility and you're frustrated, just know that one, you're not doing anything wrong. I would love to look at that post to give you some feedback there to help you, because having a plan and a strategy about how to post to each platform and the frequency and the time of day and the industry and the who, what, where, when, and why is
Hmm.
what's actually going to help you have that group grow like more strategically and in a more transfer success too. So Facebook groups are huge to grow your business. Like, love it. Love school, still love the platforms. But I also know this, if you're not, if you're putting all your eggs in the social media basket and you're not trying to get people to sign up for your email campaigns, that's not good. We want to do that. We want to use social media as the top of the funnel. You think about it as the brand awareness part, the top of the funnel, and then we encourage people either with a lead magnet, which is a free digital downloadable thing that you, maybe it's a checklist or it's a coupon or whatever that looks like, you give to someone when they sign up for your email list. Because if there's a Facebook outage, which there's been many
Hmm.
of, right? Um, or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever, although I've been seeing more on Meta than I have on LinkedIn, I will say, um, then you can always reach your audience. And this has happened to me many times. When those outages went out, I actually sent my email list a notification. I was like, just to let you know, uh, Facebook is down right now. It's because of blah, 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 blah. Here's a news article to prove that that's happening. You can also use, oh God, what is it called? There's a website you can go to that tells you if a website's down or not. So you don't think it's your internet. Um, and so the people responded to me, my audience responded to me and said, "Thank God you told me. I thought there was something wrong with my computer. I thought I got hacked. I thought this. I mean, people were freaking out, right?
Mhm.
So if you can always communicate with your audience through email, which doesn't mean it always goes into their inbox, you need to authenticate your emails and this, that, and the other thing, and make sure you're doing things around that well too. That's really going to help you grow. And email marketing can help your Facebook group grow too, to be honest. Um, but LinkedIn is powerful too. They're all powerful when they're used in the way that they're supposed to be used. And just posting randomly doesn't get us the traction and the engagement that we want. That's why a plan is really important for anything,
Hmm.
how we're gonna grow that. But did you want to know about LinkedIn specifically?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
That's we're all there.
Okay. LinkedIn, totally love LinkedIn. This is a platform. I think I've been on there like 18 years now. I mean, it's changed a lot over the years. It started out as just a job search site. You'd go on there and if you're looking for a job, you'd build your profile and look for a job, apply, blah, blah, blah. You have to be careful these days. There's scams everywhere. If you see a job on LinkedIn that you really want to apply for, the recommendation is to actually go to the website itself of the company. Don't apply through LinkedIn, even though it's like, because one, if 1,300 other people applied through LinkedIn, you're just going to look, you're not going to stand out from the crowd. So you want to apply on the website. But what LinkedIn does is you can either follow people. If you don't know someone, you can follow their account with the follow button, which they didn't have in the past, but they have now, and see their content, and you can comment on their content, which is really cool. It's a great way to grow your network. If you know someone and you've met them, or you feel like maybe you haven't met them, but you know them enough to, connect with them, you connect with them and you send them a connection request so that you can now be part of their network and they can be part of yours. And so what you do is you LinkedIn is really a place to learn from each other. It's not as much selling, although you can still sell, but it's more strategic than Facebook.
Hmm.
Where Facebook, you're just, what I like to use is a ratio, actually. I use an 80-20 ratio. 80% of the time that I am posting content to a platform, whether it's email or say, when I say 80%, say like in a week, if I'm posting on Facebook in a week and maybe I'm doing 5 posts or I'm doing 3 posts, just to make it uneven there. 80% of those posts are supposed to be relationship building. This is a like a technique I've used for about 7, 8 years that's really worked well.
Mm.
And it's like, okay, 80% is relationship building and trust building content. There's no selling or no promotional in it. And then 20% can be promotional. So if it's 5 posts, it's like four of those posts, 3 or 4 of those posts are relationship building and asking for engagement, meaning like, what do you think? Asking questions. When you ask questions, like people want to share about themselves, right? They want to know that you're listening and they love talking about themselves or their experience. And we want that. We
Hmm.
want that because that's conversation. That's social part of social media. It's just like on the street, right? We meet our friend on the street or we meet them at the restaurant. How are you doing? Sorry, that's my alarm to take pills because that's what you do at 43. Like, hello, like that's what you do. You turn a certain age and then you have alarm on your phone to take a pill. I'm like, oh my God, I'm older than my parents. Like, it's really funny. But yeah, so like the platform oh, where was I going? Oh, the 80%. So the 80% and the 20% is really a great way not to be the car sales people, right? It's
Yeah.
it's a way to keep it warm, keep it inviting. Um, and LinkedIn is totally that. It's all you share your experiences and your um what you're doing, or if you see what I like to do is like there's a lot of people in my network that are in different places. Like some of them are job seekers that I've mentored, or some of them are fellow business owners, or some of them are on boards. If there's a job like the Department of Labor, I have a lot of friends and connections over there. So if somebody posts something at the Vermont Department of Labor, I'll share it because I'll be like, hey, is anybody looking for a job? Here's a job, And so that's helping people. But then also sometimes I'll share about, hey, I'm going to be speaking at, like I was invited by, and I didn't get to do it yet because of some health issues, but so it's being rescheduled. Heritage Family Credit Union is a financial institution in Vermont, and they invited me last year to speak to nonprofit organizations about marketing. And I did, and it was a lovely day. I think I did like a workshop that was maybe 45 minutes and then spoke on a panel. And it was lovely because nonprofits also need to market themselves. And some of them
Hmm.
don't realize that.
Hmm.
Um, Marketing with nonprofits, though the message might be different and you're not asking for people to buy, you're asking them to donate or to volunteer. So the message might be different, but the approach is very similar. So they asked me to come last year and I really enjoyed it. And this year they actually asked me to build a full day workshop to help nonprofits market themselves. And it was going to be about data and authenticity in your messaging. Because it's really important to be authentic
Yeah.
in whatever you're doing because that people need authenticity because there's enough stuff out there that doesn't feel authentic. And I don't know about you too, but it doesn't feel good.
Hmm.
Right.
Um, so I think people are really craving that. But they asked me to come, and I did post about that. We had to postpone it probably till later in the year, but wonderful financial institution. So I mean, you can share about what's going on with you. You can share about what's going on with others. You can share about what's going on in the industry. And then there's this really cool, so you can join for free. You can have a free account if you decide to bump it up to premium. And there's different tiers. If you're a job seeker, you can pay for a certain thing. And if you're a business owner, you can, right? So it's like it comes from all angles. With a
Hmm.
premium account as a business owner, you can have a link inside your it's not your bio. It's kind of like your name and then your profile photo and then like what you do. And you can have a link there. So if you want that's like the top of the funnel. People learn about you on LinkedIn, they like what you're posting, and they can not only comment in the comment section and then you have a back and forth and other people can chime in too. They can visit your website, they can visit, maybe you have a sales page or something. So that's what I mean. Like you can still sell, but people really are looking for experts sharing data and information. And they now have video. They've had video for some time. They've learned that from TikTok that video is very helpful. But as a disability advocate, I will say this. A lot of tech companies and a lot of platforms aren't built for people with disabilities, and they don't always have the closed caption that I feel like needs to be there, or they don't have this and it doesn't work. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Or even screen readers, people that are blind or visually impaired, they rely on screen readers. So if your tech piece doesn't have, or the platform doesn't have wording so that the screen reader can read it, you're leaving out 1 in 4 Americans who have a disability from your platform or your initiative. And I
Hmm.
think that's wrong. And so I'm hoping to kind of trailblaze and write to the companies and get, people signing some petitions to make sure, because we should all be able to learn in environments that feel safe, but that are also accessible. And accessibility, in my opinion, is part of safety, and
Yeah.
they're like intertwined in each other.
Mm, nice. I actually want to take a little shift to the left here or to the right, whatever direction you want to say. And I want to know a little bit more about like how are you balancing? You are definitely a wealth of information. You have a lot going on. You've got your digital marketing, your marketing specialist company. You are also working for your mother, and you're also in the process of learning to take over that cookie company, which I assume you would be rolling out the cookies like she does. So that
Yeah.
would be that's an extra layer of things that you need to be doing, you know. So
Mhm.
how are you balancing everything, your health, the technical, the cookie company? How are you balancing your
You're about
life?
to get married
Yes.
Yes,
or you're
yes, I'm
engaged.
engaged. I'm engaged. Right. Yeah, we've been engaged a year, and yeah, I mean, I've had some health issues recently, and he has too, and some other things have happened, so we haven't been able to plan much, but one day it'll happen. But that's a really good question. People ask me that all the time, like, wait a second, how do you like, and some of it is like maybe I'm a little nuts because there's like so much going on. Like, I definitely will say, and I'm very happy to say this, I ask for help when needed. Like I have a therapist who's amazing, who's been there for, during my chronic health issues, who I just love. And, mental health is really important, and reaching out for help when needed. I reach out to the organizations in the state, like Hireability. Not only do I volunteer with them and the State Rehabilitation Council, but I'm a participant. So I have a case manager and I say, okay, I need help with this. Like, do you have any suggestions or whatever? Or maybe I have a suggestion and ask if that's a possibility. So I have no problem with that. But also, I love task management software and lists. And um, though I'm a tech person, but I still like paper. I like writing on paper. I also have a digital notebook that I like to use because I also am an environmentalist and
Mm.
try to, cut down less trees when possible or use recycled paper. Um, but I use something called ClickUp. And I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a task management software that I use for my business, for my mom's, and for my personal life. So I will connect it to my Google Workspace, which is Gmail, the paid version, the business version. Connect it. An email comes in, somebody asks for something, like I'm gonna build a proposal this week or a couple of them. And so what happens is I take that and I create a task on my ClickUp task management list, and that will send me reminders, right? So like, okay, this is what you have to do today. Like I am all about time management, organization, and goals, like not just yearly and 6 month and monthly goals, but like, okay, what do I have to do today? And I write them down the night before. I love Brian Tracy's motivational books because he really helps me. I read a lot of self-help books like Atomic Habits by James Clear. That was a game changer. I don't know if you've heard of this book or read it before. Um, that really helps. I have a business advisor. I have at the Vermont Small Business Development Center, where I'm a marketing consultant, where they've helped my business and my mom's business. If I have a question, I just like reach out, like, what do you think? Like, and she's amazing. She's amazing. I'm all about self-growth, and there's always a way for me to optimize my approach. In fact, I truly believe, and maybe this is, the meat and potatoes of Atomic Habits is, to to create a habit, which takes 21 days. Like you do something consistently and then it becomes a habit. And then you're using less cognitive brain power to do that habit. So you can leave room to do the big stuff, right? So like, yeah, okay, I'm going to brush my teeth, or I mean, that's something that we're many of us are used to doing from when we're a kid. But okay, maybe now my dental changes have happened, so now I have to add three more components. Now I got to use the sprayer, and I got to do this, and then so you do the things, and then you reward yourself. Honestly, like reward. Talk about micro things with social media. That also works when it comes to doing the things for ourselves. And when I don't know how others feel, but I have chronic health issues. So I have to work around them, and then I have to not be so hard on myself, which I am. I am hard on myself. Um, is just like, what are my systems? The systems is what we really fall to, and that helps us get to our goal. So if the systems don't work, then it's not going to work. And to be honest, I'll be completely vulnerable with you. For the longest time, I thought I had ADHD, and there's nothing wrong with it. And maybe I still have some of it. Who knows? I've never been clinically diagnosed, but I just kind of self-diagnosed because I was like, oh my God, I got all these tabs open and I'm doing this. I'm like a squirrel. Oh, this happens, this happens. I'm like, wait a second, wait a second. I'm not focusing. Well, one, meditation really helps with that. That's one of the big things. How do I do it? Meditation is huge. It's huge. But I realized I might still have ADHD, and that's fine. My systems, I was talking to my therapist, like she said the most profound thing. It's like really simple, but to me it was profound. She said, well, wait a second. What are your systems? Do you have your systems set up so that when you go to do the project, it's working? And I said, no, not to the way that I really want. She goes, well, then fix that first. And then everything after that will come easier. And she was right. I like literally took a whole day, and I even like asked my friend Claude on AI and ChatGPT. I said, listen, this is my problem. I think I'm doing this wrong. Can you help me dissect this? Where can I optimize this? Like I am falling short, and I want to do better work, and I just feel I'm missing, there's a piece missing. And it literally helped me walk through. This is why I like AI. Like this is where I use it mindfully. Okay, how do I fix the broken pieces in my life so I can whatever? Well, it doesn't help with everything. That's why I have a therapist, a human being, because in my opinion, I don't think I mean, people can do whatever they want, but you want to be careful with what you're putting into right? Did you say you're a
Yeah,
therapist?
I'm as a therapist, I can't tell you how many people tell me they go to like ChatGPT to talk about their emotions, and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, take it with a grain of salt. And I've even someone just
correct.
recently told me people have there's been recent suicides because of the connection to ChatGPT. People that should have been
Yes.
seeing a therapist was going to ChatGPT because, yeah.
Yep.
Anyways,
I
go ahead.
I heard that too, and I was like heartbroken. I'm like, oh my God. And it's tough too, because when you're in that vulnerable place, you'll if
Y-
you're really in a tough spot and something tells you, like a robot tells you to do something, you may do it, right?
Well,
And
because
that's
they
like
know
vulnerable
how to use
stuff.
that language to make you feel seen
Exactly.
and heard. It reaches the
Yeah.
human in a way when
Hmm.
you feel seen and heard. I mean, I've heard of even married couples. There
Hmm.
was a case of when AI was really starting to come up and around, a woman
Hmm.
got emotionally involved
I remember
with
that.
this particular AI, put
Yeah.
money into it. She was married, but it was
Hmm.
feeding her something until it couldn't anymore.
Right.
It became, yeah. So just like anything, it
Absolutely.
could be a thing. So yeah, you have
It's
to
an
take it with a grain of
addiction.
salt. Yeah.
It
Mhm.
becomes an addiction, right? And you're absolutely right. And like, so if we as human beings, now I'm not a therapist, I've had like a ton of therapy. I feel like at this point I should become a psychologist because I loved it. To be honest, marketing is psychology, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not over here like trying to manipulate people with marketing. I'm just trying to understand people so I can help them with their challenges. But as far as therapy goes, yeah, I don't think it's safe to put your emotions and things into ChatGPT because one, like, yeah, like first of all, there's the data security issue, right? Like, I mean, it's bad enough that we have to worry about, fraud and this and the other thing out on the internet. You're just vulnerable. So yeah, I think it's best to talk to a therapist on many levels.
But
Um, but but for
yeah.
other things, it's okay. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
And I think, and this pipe, and you may have kind of came close to touching on it too, oh my God, where was I going? I am truly ADD. I'm like squirrel, like, and I saw a
Yeah, I
lizard
think I
out
am
there.
too. Yeah.
Um, but with like, because not only am I a therapist, I also do health and wellness coaching. I'm a personal trainer, nutritionist. And one of the
Love
things
it.
I've learned in all that field is the answer is pretty much always majority of the time, the answer should be it depends. And I can see
Right.
that being the same with marketing. Everyone's like, tell me
Hmm.
how to fix this. Give me the ABCs. Well, it depends on where your business is, right?
Hmm.
And then, like we were talking about the chat GPT and the motion things. Well, the chat GPT is going to be black and white, but they don't know all the aspects, your facial expressions, what's really going, like they don't know all the little details. So the answer is always depends. People ask me for coping skills. I'm like, well, it depends because we can
Right.
try a few things and see what works for you and your mindset and your
Hmm.
lifestyle. And the same, I
Right.
can see the same with marketing.
Yeah.
You have threaded it. Come up, have a business plan. Who are you marketing? Like, who is this for? Know your product. It's just like self-development. Who are you? Once you know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, then that whole, you can answer those it depends questions, right? And then
Right.
find the thing. So I like how you said about you kind of like took the layer of fear, and because people like to also be in control of their product. Like, I think that's another thing. That's why I said it intimidating, because it feels like sometimes you could get sucked into this vortex of the social media digital world, and
Yeah.
you start losing control of what the thing that you're trying to put, your messaging, your product, like it's getting. So how do I protect that? And I love how you said, well, this platform can do this and this do this, knowing the intricacies of it, like where to put the link, this and that, and how to tie it and thread it together where each can function in the way it functions in its how it was designed to be. That makes it then work for you. Like you're teaching it to
Hmm.
work for you, just like how you spoke about the algorithms, teaching the algorithm how it can work for you, vice versa. And I loved how you
Yeah.
explained, and it really kind of, I even felt like my nervous system calmed down. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
it piqued my interest, because I think that
yeah.
is the key, is the
Yeah.
education. It's like, okay. And then it makes you think about your own product. As Renee
Hmm.
said, we have two different products. And then, of course, it's going to be going in two different directions. It's going to need different things. It might be all social media is the commonality, but knowing how to couture it to make
Yeah.
it work for you.
Absolutely. It's almost like building a cake, making a cake, right? Like, okay, which cake do you want to make? Like, are you making red velvet or are you making carrot, right? There's different ingredients. The process is similar. Like we're gonna put the ingredients together, we're gonna put it in a bake pan. Maybe we're gonna put it in a bundt uh cake pan, you know? There's different components. And then you put it in the oven for whatever and also the timing. The timing might be different from one cake to the other, but then you take it out, you cool it, you blah, 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 you serve it. So that, why does it always revolve around dessert for me? This is why
Because you're about
it's
to
always
go
dessert.
and take over a cookie business.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel very honored. I'll never be able to bake like my mom. Like she's amazing. She's been baking since she was 12 and she's 78. My dad's a great cook too, and he's even baking breads now, sourdoughs. He's gonna bake a focaccia bread this weekend. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. No wonder why I have like carb addictions, you know? But the making the cake is the process. Yes, but the approach, it depends.
Yeah, the
And
ingredients.
Renee,
Mhm.
yeah, it depends. And while people don't like to hear that though, because they're like, well, wait a second. But I need an answer. I'm like, okay, well, I'll help you walk it through and that's the thing. So like not only do I do content for people, I actually teach them. That's what I love too. And seeing the look on someone's face when you teach them something and it's like even if it's just like how to add the link to a post or how to build a targeted ad, which is different than a boosted post on Facebook. People,
Yeah.
boosted posts is like you're putting money into it, but you're not targeting it. And so I think targeted paid ads are much more they're better. Also, here's a big thing. People think you have to drop a lot of money into paid ads, and you can because you get more visibility that way. But you can start with $5 a day and really good copy and a really good graphic or video and target that ad in the back end and really get some serious um, You could grow your email list. I grew somebody's email list to 1,000 subscribers in less than 6 weeks with good copy, $5 a day, and a good graphic. So I think that you can start small and go. Of course, Meta doesn't want me to tell you that because they want you to spend more money on the ads. Now, what you have to do is you have to what we call A/B testing in marketing, which is you try it this way, this A way, you do it that way, and you make a record of it, and then you see what happens. What does the data do? And you look at the and you try it a different way with just a little component different in the B way, and you see which one performs better. And it gives you data and information because really all of life, we make decisions based on information and what we know from the past or what we've learned. And that's what marketing is. How did we approach it the first time? Well, that's really also what therapy is, according to my therapist, is like how do we approach it? And I cannot say, Renee, I love the fact that you do what you do because therapy and coaching and nutrition, um, you know, I struggle with the nutrition piece. I have something called candida overgrowth, which is yeast overgrowth in my gut, and I really want to fix that. It happens, because I eat too much sugar, or I mean, I love sugar. It's an addiction. Let's be real. But I can do it a little bit of the time and be okay. But when I get stressed, I want to eat all the bread and butter in the world. I mean, I'm Italian. Like, what am I supposed to do? But that's the piece is like we are all struggling with something, marketing, health, this, that. But if we have the resources like the two of you to reach out to, and we have a plan, we can take those two pieces, put them together, and actually go through it in micro bits, and it can work. And I think that's kind of what I've learned over the years is like, yes, I have chronic health issues, and a ton of people do too. We don't have to succumb to society's pressure of, oh, if you have a disability or a health concern, um, you're not allowed to figure out a way to survive and make a financial income and be financially independent. Now, there's some people that have to be on disability, and yes, they should be because they need that support and they might not be able to work. But society has us like in this, oh, there's this awful stigma that you have to be, you can't be outside the box. I am totally outside the box in ways that I don't even want to be outside the box. But I think it's important that people know there's so many different ways to make money from home. And you can do it with social media and you get visibility and you can learn how to do this. And your brand is you. If you have a business or if you're a job seeker, your brand is you. And so how do we like make that work? Well, we can do that on LinkedIn. We can do that on Facebook. We can do that, through email marketing. And yeah, I don't know. It's really a profound world. I love it, and I love when people ask questions. So if you have more, feel free to throw them at me.
Well, I wish we had another hour, but we're gonna come to a close.
Yes, that's cool.
Maybe we'll do a
That's
part
cool.
two. But to wrap it up, thank you. You're like a plethora of like really good information. And you really truly are, I think, one of the trailblazers because you've been doing it before it all hit the masses during COVID. But we do like to ask to end our session here today is if you can go back and speak to your younger self, your younger Andrea, what would you tell her knowing what you know now?
Oh, this is a great question. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This has been like a wonderful conversation with the two of you. I love it. I would actually tell her not to be afraid and to believe in yourself more and to just go for it. There's so much pressure and I think women specifically, right? Society wants us to look pretty and do this and not do this. And the movie Barbie really was a great depiction of what women go through. I'm getting the chills
Mm-hmm.
right now. You know, we have to, society wants us to do it the way they want us to, and we're not supposed to be loud, and we're not supposed to speak up, and we're supposed to do things and shrink ourselves so that we don't ruffle feathers. Well, I am all about ruffling feathers, but in the way that helps support other women and people in general. and people with disabilities. And so I would say to myself, don't allow anybody to make you feel like you have to shrink yourself, which is what happened with the hyperacusis issue. But and I'm never going to say that was a blessing because abuse is not a blessing. It's not.
Hmm.
The strength I gained before and after that, and now too, in learning about myself, about how speaking, when you speak up, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So the people that also want to speak up are going to help you. You're gonna come together. There's power in numbers because I'm sure other people feel like they are being told to shrink. So what happens is you find each other. I would just say, don't shrink yourself. Don't allow anybody to make you feel like you have to shrink yourself, um, and try not to eat so much sugar.
Yeah, at the same time, order some cookies.
Well, it's hard
Yeah,
when you
well,
have a bomb bakers as parents. I mean, bread and cookies, come on, you're in heaven.
oh God, my dad,
That's my
yeah,
version.
sometimes they'll make, their sauce is amazing. Like I'm 100% Italian, so it's like Jesus. I mean, yeah, it's the food is amazing in this family. Um, but the cookies, I mean, I will tell you, when I'm on my strict diets, I will taste it. I don't spit it out. My mom's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to make it worse for you." I taste it because we have quality control. She has the highest standards I've ever seen. And we want to make sure that what we're sending out it works for people. So once in a while, I get I get to taste the shortbread. But when I'm not on the diet, when I'm not, that's I'll have to curb myself, but those maple shortbread are so good.
I'm gonna reorder some more
When I
and
was
gift them out too.
Yeah, when I was 18, I actually worked in a cafe that we made our own cookies and we made tons of cookies. And
Oh,
I've never eaten so many cookies. And I'm not a
right?
cookie person, but they were
Yeah.
good. Like,
Oh, what were
whew.
they? What were they? Were they like sugar? What were they?
Oh,
I
it
love
was all
hearing about
different types
cookies.
of cookies. And
Oh
keep in
my
mind,
God.
this is like 3.5 decades ago, but
Love it. But
it was all different, like your chocolate chip, your peanut butter, your
oh,
macadamia.
peanut butter.
It was
And you know what?
huge variations and they were huge. Like,
And that stuck with you. If you think about it, that was an experience, right?
hmm
Those cookies, you're talking about 3.5 decades later because you remember like how good that it's not just the taste, it's the experience that that
Mhm.
brought into your life, right? And that
hmm
I really think cookies, can do that. Good
Yeah.
dessert can really make an experience. So I love hearing about your experience with cookies. And let's talk cookies anytime.
It goes great with coffee. I'm a coffee
Oh,
drinker and I drink coffee
nice.
black. I do French press. Having that balance with the bitter and then the sweet cookie. So
Ooh,
know that your mom's cookies just that's how I started my day
that's really cool.
on the
Thank you. I'll tell
patio.
her that. But also, it's all about marketing. What you just said was, oh, I do the snobby thing. That's not snobby, my friend. That's having like you have a standard of how you like your coffee.
Yeah.
hmm
I
That's
have a whole
that's
coffee bar.
self-care.
Yeah. I don't push
Yeah.
it on
Oh,
people.
no.
I don't try to make
Yeah.
people, but it's like you said, it's the experience
hmm
and we all need our good experiences to go out there in the world that we're living in and be our best selves, right? So, whatever
Agreed.
helps.
Agreed.
Well,
But
thank you. Thank you again
yeah.
for coming on. Totally love this whole episode.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Right.
me. This has been quite the experience. So thank you.
And
Yeah.
thank you, Andrea. And thank you for increasing the awareness on disability, like
hmm
bringing it to the forefront, what we might want to think about it. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Absolutely. And thank you for being giving that a platform too, because I think the more that we talk about these issues, like the more people will feel comfortable. And that's really important because we want to make sure, and I know you both are, but we want to make sure we're inclusive wherever we can be.
And thank you for feeling safe enough to go in there and tell some real
Hmm.
vulnerable pieces of your story. So thank you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That really means a lot.
absolutely.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Thank you. Bye
bye.
for now.